What can you do as a Scrum Master to keep your job? This is a very important question because frequently we've seen a number of people who have worked so hard to gain a job or a position as a Scrum Master. Within 3 to 4 months, they are losing it. What are they missing, and what can you do while you are still in the journey to understand a key component that you must do as a Scrum Master when you join a team in order to keep your job? So I am going to consider these 8 different components within this video. Now, you want to make sure you watch until the end because this is very important. I'm going to talk about purpose. I'm going to talk about team types and responsibility. I'm going to talk about working agreement. I'm going to talk about how to measure success. I'm going to talk about the definition of done. I'm going to talk about key interactions. I'm going to talk about key stakeholders. I'm going to talk about team members. I'm going to talk about distinctive competencies. I'm going to talk about team events. Actually, they are 10, not 8. So there are 10 major things that you should be doing when you join a team as a Scrum Master. You want to make sure that you are checking all of these in order to make sure that you are not missing anything. If you can effectively do this, then securing your job will not really be a problem. Now, apart from doing all of this, one of the things you want to make sure that you are also integrating yourself into, you're integrating yourself into an agile community of practice. An agile community of practice is simply a community where you have other Scrum Master who are also learning how to get themselves more. One thing you want to understand about Scrum is that as a Scrum Master, there is no stop to self-learning. You need to keep on learning. So getting the job as a Scrum Master, or getting a position as a Scrum Master is a step for you to keep learning. All right, so let's look at what are the 10 things you should do when you join your team as a Scrum Master. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you can have a visualization of what I'm going to be sharing with you. Now, the first component which you are going to pay attention when you join anything, the first component I want you to pay attention in. If you look at all of these different components and you pay attention to them, and understand what you need to learn in each phase, you realize that it's definitely not going to be very difficult for you to keep a job as a Scrum Master. So the first one is the purpose. When you join a team, you want to find out what the team is doing. The reason you join a team and then it looks like the team is speaking jargon or you completely lost is because you have not taken time to understand what contribution is the team making. A team is part of an entire organization that is delivering a business value, which means that the team is making a specific contribution. So if you come into the team and you're only looking at, oh, how am I going to facilitate my first daily stand-up? How am I going to facilitate my spring planning? And you're not paying attention on the impact the team, on the business value, always called it the business value, the team want to deliver, then you're going to do yourself a disfavor. Now, when you consider the business value the team will be delivering, then and how the team is creating impact in the organization, because this is going to be the entry point for you to start negotiating or having conversation with leadership. Leadership only understand business value. They don't understand facilitation and all of that. A lot of Scrum Master pay so much attention on how to facilitate this event, this is what you need to learn before you get into the job. So if you're not actually learn how to run a Scrum bot, create a story, create an epics and all of that before you get into a job, it means you are owing a lot when you actually get into the job. All right, which is what I always encourage everyone. Hey, Get into a community of practice that they're doing something right. And although many people keep you like, oh, this is expensive, when I get the money, I will figure out what to do. You're definitely not doing yourself any favor. If you're smart enough, which means that you've been in a project environment and you think, oh, you know what, this is definitely, I can go with this. You don't really need any extra help. But for those who are just new in the field, I want to actually do what you can do within your reach to make sure that you are closing this gap. You don't want to be one of the people who are getting into an opportunity, and then finally not able to keep it. Now let's move to the second one. The second one is type of team and responsibility. I've done quite a number of videos to talk about the different type of teams and their responsibility. And you now start seeing the importance why you should pay attention to some of the videos I've been doing. And maybe you're not taking time to watch them. You just want to look at interview question, interview prep question. All right, they're good, but that is not all you need to do. So what area of solution is the team responsible for? You want to pay attention. Now, is it a full dev team? Are they in charge of all part of the product? Or what area are they responsible for? Is it a data team? Is it a mobile team? Is it a web team? Is it a security team? Is it a support team? What is their scope? Now, when you understand both of these, it gives you now more input of the team. What is the responsibility now? The reason why I'm also kind of considering this for an agile release train, because I want to play a balance between Scrum team and Safe team. So the difference between Safe and Scrum is that the Safe, someone working in the Safe team is also going to consider not just the first part of it, which is the area of solution. They're going to consider the second part, which is responsibility to the entire agile release train. So number one, the purpose of the team. Number two, what responsibility. Number three, now you talk about the working agreement. This is very important. A working agreement. How do we want to work together to create a positive and productive environment? The reason you're going to have a lot of resistance and feeling like, oh, the PO doesn't want me, the team members are not responding to me, is because you have not taken time to build a working agreement as a team. So the team member are seeing you as a visitor, and you don't really get to know them. Now, when you get into a team, you do one-on-one. One-on-one are just going to do a kind of a bit of lifting. Just imagine, let's use it. This example might be funny, but then this is the reality. Now, let's imagine you get on a date, right? You get on a date, and then you have a conversation with your date just once. And then you expect that person to trust you, to give you all the information. No, it's a constant process of you having communication back and back. You build that relationship for someone to trust you to the extent where they can start giving you some valuable information. Is a gradual process. A lot of people want to get in, and because they want to prove to management that they're doing their job, they push their team to the limit. Now they lose control of the team, gain favor of the management, and because they cannot collaborate with the team to deliver, what happened? They lose it. You don't want to be at that point. Now, when you understand exactly what you need to do, which I'm giving a team charter here, now when management is pushing you to go through far, you are the one to now educate your management. What are the different steps you need in order to gain the team trust? All right, perfect. Now, when you're done with this, which is this one, you can put your team name here, right here. All right, if you want a template, reach out to me. I'm going to give you the template for free. I'm not going to charge you anything, so don't worry about that. Now, when you have a team working agreement, right? A team working agreement, the next thing you want to do is that you want to think about, how do we know if we are doing well? How do you measure success as a team? Success as a team is not just about getting the velocity. Our velocity is bad. We need to get it up. Sometimes a push to get a velocity to where we can say, oh, we're good with our velocity, kind of strange, I would say, put so much pressure on a team. And because of that, the team might not really be effective enough, or the team might lose strength. Now, one thing you want to agree with me is that if you're meeting someone for the first time, especially when you're joining a team, new team as a Scrum Master, especially a team that has not been practicing all of the event, and you're putting all of that pressure, it seems like, oh, you're giving us too much work. We don't like you. But then if you win their trust and you collaborate with them, then you are definitely going to make sure that you are working in alignment with them. I think there's a video I did on 7 tips of team performance. I'm going to, it's not yet out. I probably might release that video in the subsequent days. All right. Now, after you have considered how to measure success, because the success of the team is also your own success, which is why you want to consider it. You want to go ahead and see if you understand the definition of done. If this is not clear enough for the company, you want to sit down with your team and reflect on that, because that is also what guys do. A lot of people kind of misunderstand definition of done to be just acceptance criteria. No. Definition of done, it's about a story, it's about an iteration, it's about a PI cycle. What do we see to make sure that this is completed, right? What do we see to make sure that an iteration is completed? That is definition of done. Definition of done is not equivalent to acceptance criteria. Definition of done is this process that help us to validate if something is completed. For instance, if you want to validate that, a story is completed, it starts after the definition of ready. When a story is ready, what happened? It moves into the sprint backlog. What happened when a story moves into a sprint backlog until when that story is completed? That is the entire process I give for the definition of done. What are all the criteria that our work must meet to be accepted? It doesn't say what are the acceptance criteria. What are all the criteria, including acceptance criteria, including if it need to go through QA, including if it need to go through security check and all of that. We want to be able to consider all of that. Then you want to also look at what are the key interaction. When we talk about key interaction, which other team do we need to work closely with? Very important. Are we dependent? Is our work dependent on another team? Do we need to collaborate with a different department? Do we have external vendor we collaborate with? So you see, by just going through the first 6, it's already giving us what we need to do. So if I'm sitting as a Scrum Master and one of these is missing, I know where to get it. And it also helped me to improve or to open up the scope at which I need to learn. So you realize that getting into a team, whether you've been a Scrum Master for 5 years, for 10 years, you realize that there is new learning to do because it's a new environment and this is new culture. Now, after you consider the key interactions, you want to go ahead and consider who are the stakeholders, who are our key stakeholders, and how we will keep them informed. All right. How are we going to keep our stakeholders informed? Is it going to be through spring reviews or iteration review? Are there other ways in which we communicate with our stakeholders? There might be other opportunity we communicate with the stakeholder, which you might not definitely really be part of it. For instance, in organization, we have support meeting, and support meeting, most often Agile coaches are the ones that represent support meeting where they can talk with clients directly. But then you having an awareness of how this information is getting to your stakeholder is very important. Sometimes at your spring review or iteration review, you might not have any stakeholder, you might not have anyone external from the company like a direct client come into such a meeting, but if your managers come in there, your managers come in to collect information that they can relate to now the stakeholder in a support meeting, which might be another extra meeting. So you asking the question to understand all of this gives you a full scope of what is expected from you. Now, what next, which you want to consider is team members. Who are your team members? Look at the product owner. Do you have a product owner, a scrum master? Some team have a BA in the place of acting as a scrum master. Some team might have the PM acting as a product owner. Some team might have also the tech lead acting as a product owner. You want to understand the configuration. You want to understand your team members and their responsibility. Are they back-end engineers? Are they front-end engineers? Are they DevOps engineers? Are they QA? And all of that? You want to make sure that you understand all team members and their responsibilities. Why? Because this is going to help you to start understanding who is working on what, and it helps you to start learning the technicality that might be engaged in your project. And when you do that, you want to move ahead and look at distinctive competencies. What are we uniquely good at? What can we help each other with? Now, this is when you start getting a bit technical to understand. Now, I don't need to, or I don't definitely expect you to understand all of this within your first 1 month, right? Which is why most often for a lot of people, you realize that the organization is going to leave you in there for about 3 months before they tell you, we don't need you, right? Except you are really, really bad. They will not let you go within the first month, which means that they don't expect you to be somebody, a superhuman being. They understand that you are going to get the information and you are going to learn, but a lot of people are not learning. So you want to make sure that you consider what this team charter, what you need to know. And if you're still in the journey, try to understand all of this before you get in. If you get in with a full awareness of what you need to do, this is going to be a very big advantage for you. And I want you to definitely get in with that full awareness. And then the last thing you want to do is the team event. When, where, for how long we hold our team event. You want to be very knowledgeable about this. Now, it's not as recommended by the Scrum Guide or by the Safe Workbook. It's by the company culture. So the company culture is what you want to follow closely. You don't want to get in and just start changing stuff around. You don't want to do that. All right. I hope this was very, very helpful for you. I've taken out time to do this video because I've had a lot of people reach out to me like, okay, and now I know I need help because I lost my position. This is not really good news. I'm not super excited hearing that news because these are things which you can avoid before even getting into a position. And I always say that one of the reasons why many people are not paying attention to this is because they don't want to push themselves. They don't want to invest. They want to do practice question and answer. I can get in there. They're not prioritizing. They don't even know what they want. So you don't want to be one of them. You want to be that person that know what you want. You want to be the person that you're putting in the effort that you need to put to get to the position with full confidence. Which is what we deliver for our team, for anyone that wants value, not people that want to, if you're reaching out to me, and I always say this over and over again, oh, I already have my resume, I already have my LinkedIn, I only need these, then you definitely not what we want. We want people that want to practice. We want people that want to know what they need to do. We want people that want to learn how to lead other people, not people that want to learn how to get a job, which is one of the reasons why most of the time when people get into my team and like, oh, when can I get my resume ready and start applying? That's not what you need. What do I need to learn? What I need to do when I get out of job? When you learn that, you qualify to start applying. All right. And for those who want to be Safe Scrum Master certified, we're running a training that's going to be next Monday. Make sure you're plugging into that. And if this video was helpful, leave a comment, put that thumb like up, subscribe to our channel. We are committed to bring you the best of the best. I'll see you in the next video.